Hello everybody, welcome to Fruitful Trees, and today I have a video that many of you have been asking for a long time now, and I finally got it done today. We are here in South Florida, and this is a peach tree. Yes, peaches grow here in South Florida. It's hard to believe, but not all peaches grow here in South Florida. So this variety, this is newer in the ground, and it's been about 2 years, and I've only gotten a few peaches off this. But today we're going to meet my neighbor who's thriving. He's been growing peaches for 30 years. And he has 3 or 4 peaches on his property that gets like 100 peaches every year, each tree. So we're gonna go over there and we're gonna talk to him today about what's the best variety of peaches to grow here in South Florida and how to make sure you get the most peaches and the least disease on the trees. So here we go. Okay, here's my neighbor in front of his peach trees. So tell us, so everyone's asking what peach trees grow good here in South Florida.
Well, these are Tropic Beauty. I've been growing those for about 30 years.
Tropical Beauty or Tropic?
No, Tropic.
Tropic Beauty.
They've I've been growing them for about 30 years here when they first were developed by the University of Florida. And they've produced every year in those 30 years, very well, in fact. These trees typically produce 75 to 100 peaches each season. And there's another variety that we have that I found out actually does better than this variety, and it is a Florida Prince. So that would be the one I'd recommend getting now. These here, this particular winter, we didn't get cold enough, so they just didn't get enough cold hours, chill hours, for them to produce a heavy crop this year. This is the first year in 30 years, though, that's happened. So if next year it happens again, then I'm probably going to cut them way back and graft the Prince on to this rootstock here.
And it's interesting because you said you have a smaller one that has more fruit, and that one came from up north, so yeah, it probably had the chill hours, you said?
Right. Now this one here, this is normally how these big trees are loaded. You see how many is loaded on this thing. This is also a Tropic Beauty, but I bought the tree only a couple of months ago, and whoever's producing these trees is probably in very North Florida where they've got that chill hours. So that's why this one produced so heavily. I mean, we'll see how it goes next year. You know what I mean?
Sure. And so how big do the fruits get on these?
The full-size peaches, about the size of a nice tangerine, like a tennis ball size. That's it. Same size as a tennis ball.
Yeah, do you spray the trees at all?
Don't do nothing to them. They just grow on their own.
Any natural diseases on these trees?
I haven't had any trouble in the 30 years I've been growing them with anything at all. You can see how healthy they all look. Look at those leaves.
Yeah.
So there are peaches. Here's one right here. Look, there's peaches on these. There just isn't nearly as many as there normally is.
Now,
there's several over there.
Do these lose their leaves in the winter?
Yes, completely bare. They look like they're dead.
So not the most aesthetic for the front of a house?
No.
Okay, so they look dead in the winter, so people shouldn't get concerned. Right.
And if you take a look at the way this one is trimmed, maybe go around the other side, you can see the look through here.
Oh, it's empty in the middle.
You want to trim them like this so they make a bowl shape. So you see this looks like a big bowl. That allows lots of air to flow through, and that probably has a lot to do with why these trees aren't getting any diseases or anything.
So like a big bowl shape on the inside and on the outside, right?
Yeah. So this looks like a bowl.
And what about watering? How does it do with water? Do you water these?
I normally don't water them, but around the time that they're blooming, then I water them for about a month. A couple times a week. Turn on the water, flood them. But it didn't help this year. This year was a bad year for peaches here. Worst year ever I've had.
On these, but your other tree.
And that other Prince, the Florida Prince, it's done good. I mean, it wasn't,
So when did you get that tree?
This tree's probably 3 years in the ground.
And how old are your other trees over there?
Those are when I moved in, 9 years ago.
Okay, so this one's 3 years, Florida Prince.
Yeah.
Do you know of any other varieties that you heard would do good here that you didn't experiment, or these are the only two that you know?
I've had several different varieties, and I've cut them out because they just wouldn't do good. Not enough chill hours. These are rated, I think, the Tropic Beauty is rated for, It's a 200 hours or 150 hours, and this one here is like 50 hours rated less. So this might need only 150 hours to produce fruit. Those I think might need 200 hours. And all these years we've had that, 200 hours a year of weather around 45, 50 degrees will do it.
And on the Tropic Beauty, you said you've gotten 50 to 100 every year?
75 to 100 or so every year for forever.
And they bloom once a year?
Yeah, that's right.
When do they bloom, both of these? Same time?
They bloomed about, I'd say 2 months ago. So.
Now, you said this tree is newer, but it does better, but I don't see much fruit on there.
Well, because it's already gone. I ate it.
Oh, you ate them, so you did have a good amount on there.
Yeah, so these bloomed earlier than that, produced earlier, and I had nice fruit the size of, these mangoes here.
Now, if somebody's up a little bit north, either one will do great?
Oh, yeah. I mean, even up is just a little further north. Once you get up to Fort Pierce area and north, there's a very different climate up there.
And what about taste-wise between the two? They're exactly the same?
Same. You couldn't tell the difference. They're both excellent, really excellent, juicy peaches.
So these trees don't look too big, and neither do the others. I know you trim them like a bowl, but how big do they grow if you don't trim them?
I don't know, but they get a lot bigger. If you take a look at that pile over there, I just to trim this tree, this peach tree, and it could be one of the reasons why it didn't produce so well is because I trimmed them probably at the wrong time. So maybe that's the problem. Maybe it was cold enough. I don't know. But we'll find out next year.
For the last 25 years, when do you normally trim these? After you pick the fruit?
Usually, yeah, and I didn't do it this time.
So you're a little late this time.
Right, very late. I trimmed it like in December or something.
So these, you have to trim it every year or they'll grow?
Yeah, because what will happen is you can see right here already happening. Look, these, just since I trimmed them, these are all coming out, see? Right in the middle, and this will fill right back up again. So,
now this is, it's not tall at all, but if you didn't touch this, you think for like 3 years, how high do you think they grow? You don't know.
Way up there. It could be a huge tree. The thing is, you don't want them any taller than this. You want to be able to reach up there, grab a branch, pull down the fruit, and pick it.
And what about, I see the trunks and the width, so how much space, like you planted that other one pretty close, so how much space would you say is safe between these?
We probably have 12 feet between them, and that's plenty of space for really giving them all they need, You could make it even less than that. But they're doing fine. Like though that new one I just put in, it's less distance. It's probably 10 feet from these two.
Now I know you have several trees. If you only had one, are they self-pollinating, or do you need more than one to pollinate?
I don't know.
Have you always had more than one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but probably I would guess that they don't need another tree to pollinate. Anytime you have a pollination from another tree, though, they always produce more in whatever kind of tree it is.
Yeah, and that trunk is so cool. Check that out. Really interesting trunks.
Yeah, no, the guy I bought this tree from over here, he didn't know anything about trimming the tree. So if you look at it, it looks like a standard tree. It hasn't been trimmed properly at all. So when I get back from Greece this summer, I'm going to clip it right here.
Are you going to cut it?
I'm going to cut it right here, and that'll shape the tree for the rest of its lifetime.
Okay. And I got my tree I'm going to trim up too. You'll show me. Alrighty, so you're going to take that whole middle out, huh?
Yep. Well, I want it to be like these. This is the standard practice of peach trees.
All right. And you were saying they're just as sweet as mangoes, you were saying.
Oh,
huh?
Fantastic. Yeah, well, you're going to get them.
Yes.
So you're going to have to maybe make a little video of how they taste.
Yeah, when we harvest them. So when do you think those will be ready?
Probably. Oh, look at there's a big one ready right now. I just see it. So it's ready. Not ready. See, look, there's a nice size one. Look at that.
That's not ready just yet.
No, it's not ready yet.
So now your other one has a bunch of babies on there.
Yeah.
But you said they harvest around the same time. But you said you already took all the ones off
right,
that one.
That one harvest. This is the first year I've had peaches on that one.
So was that a little earlier than this one
yeah,
normally?
it was a month earlier.
So they're not necessarily the same time.
Right.
So if somebody lived in a little colder environment, they should try to get both so they have a little expanded season?
Yeah, I would think so. Yeah. They're not easy to find. That's the thing. You can't find them easily. These particular varieties, probably because as soon as they come available, people grab them up.
All right, we got Tropic Beauty and Florida Prince.
That's right.
Okay. All right, and with all these fruit trees, you're a Florida Prince, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
there you have it, everybody. Those are the 2 peaches to get if you're in South Florida. Thanks for sharing with us.
Sure, happy to.
All right. Thank you for watching this video. I just want to confirm I did the research and found out 100% the peaches are self-pollinating. But just like everything that's self-pollinating, it's still always better to have another tree nearby, and that'll help it pollinate. Also, by chill hours, it's 45 degrees or lower, usually between freezing 32 and 45 degrees. If it gets that low for the amount of hours according to the variety, that will determine if you can grow it in your area. And most peaches have a much more higher tolerance for this is why it won't grow in South Florida. Here is a chart here, and you could see the different zones, and you could see South Florida below West Palm. You're not going to grow anything, but the peaches that are between 110 and 150 or 110 and or 100 and 200 will grow here in this area here, right here below the first line or above the first line is the West Palm area. Below that, you're going to have a very difficult chance of growing it. Here are some of the varieties besides the tropic prince that was mentioned, which is 150 chill hours. Here are some other examples. We have a bunch of 150s chill hours, and those will do good here. As my friend confirmed, he's been doing this for 30 years. But as we saw here, the variety is Florida Best, and there's also another one called UF. Actually, it's UF Best, and there's one called UF Sun, and those varieties will grow in 100 chill hours. So I don't know much about the characteristics of those, the taste of those, but I can confirm my neighbor who lives across the street is growing these 2 varieties, the Florida Prince and the Tropic Beauty varieties, and it says that it's 150 chill hours, and they both grow well here. So I can only imagine the UF Best and the UF Sun will grow well here in South Florida also. But you can easily get a list online to find out the chill hours for the part of Florida you're in, and definitely gonna prune up my tree and looking forward to having peaches in the future. Thank you for watching. All right, everybody, there you have it. If you live in South Florida and you have room for a fruit, peach tree is something that not many people know about, but something you should get. And I've tasted his peaches, and they really are delicious. So it wouldn't be my first choice of all the fruits on the list, but my neighbor has room there for many different types of trees, and he's been growing peaches for 30 years, and it's one of his top selections. So everyone has their own taste buds and what they like. I love peaches. I desire to get mangoes that taste like peaches. So I would love it if I had thriving peaches in my yard, but I do have limited space, so I do have to make wise decisions on all of them. But I did get 1 peach tree for now, at least. I don't remember the variety of this one. If I remember correctly, it might be a Tropic Beauty, but we'll see how it goes. So, you know, I got to take a little bit more care of it and trim it up the way my neighbor suggests. But until then, there you go. That is peaches in South Florida. Until then, everybody, put your comments, questions below. Thank you. If you like, please subscribe and share this with others. And I pray that you're learning and growing, because we are growing. So keep growing and have a great day, everybody.